You might be breaking your dog's heart every single time you grab your keys and step outside. This sounds extreme, but many dog owners make small mistakes that can create deep anxiety and stress for their pets. You may think your dog will be fine if you leave them a bowl of food and lock the door. The truth is, your dog can suffer in ways you never expect. Some dogs begin to chew furniture or pace for hours, while others even try to escape. These are signals that they are scared and uncertain about your return. You're about to discover the 11 most common mistakes people make when leaving their dogs alone. Each one can chip away at your bond. The one at number 4 often surprises people because it seems harmless, but can lead to nervous behaviors that last for years. By the time you hit number 1, you'll see why some dogs end up feeling alone, even in a house filled with toys. You can prevent heartbreak and guilt if you take a moment to learn what not to do. Don't skip any part of this list. Every point builds on the last, and you'll get simple tips that help keep your dog calm and happy while you're gone. You owe it to your loyal friend to get this right. Let's start with mistake number 11. Mistake number 11, making a big dramatic exit. You might think a long goodbye is loving. You kneel down, pet your dog, repeat a phrase like, "I'll miss you," and linger by the door. You believe it comforts your dog, but in many cases, it does the opposite. Your dog sees your tension and senses that leaving is a serious event. They learn that separation is huge and alarming. If your dog picks up on your stress, they mirror it. This can lead to whining, barking, or destructive behavior as soon as you shut the door. Instead, treat leaving as calm and normal. Avoid fussing over your dog right before you go. Offer a brief pat if you want, but keep it short. Show confidence. When you act like leaving is normal, your dog is more likely to relax and wait for you quietly. But that's not all. There's an equally important step when you come home, which you'll see later in this list. Mistake number 10, making a big scene when you return. You might burst through the door shouting your dog's name with excitement. It feels good to see their wagging tail and eager face. The problem is, you're teaching your dog that your return is a big deal. This can amplify their anticipation and stress while you're gone. When you hug and kiss them the second you walk in, you reward them for anxious behavior. Some dogs jump all over their owners or spin in circles, panting and whining. Try a calm approach. Step inside, set down your bag, take a deep breath, and greet your dog once you see they have settled. A gentle rub behind the ears works well when your dog is relaxed. You'll still show love, but you won't feed an over-the-top reaction. Keep watching, because mistake number 9 may explain why your dog acts out, even if you do everything right at the door. Mistake number 9, not providing sufficient toilet breaks. Some dogs can hold it for 6 to 8 hours, but that doesn't mean it's comfortable or healthy. If you're gone all day, your dog might have no choice but to relieve themselves indoors. That can create guilt or confusion for them. A study from a veterinary school found that frequent accidents inside can raise a dog's stress level, leading to behaviors like pacing or barking. A dog that's used to going outside at noon will become upset if you're not there to let them out. If you have a long shift, consider a trusted friend, neighbor, or dog walker to give your dog a quick bathroom break. This is especially important for older dogs or those with health issues. A midday walk or potty break can make a huge difference. If you skip this, your dog could develop negative associations with being alone. Next, you'll see a mistake that goes beyond bathroom needs, failing to plan for mental stimulation. Mistake number 8, leaving no activities or toys. You might place a single chew toy on the floor and think you've done enough. The truth is, dogs need variety. One toy can become boring after an hour. Dogs are intelligent beings who need mental challenges. When left with nothing to do, they can create their own games, often involving your sofa cushions or your shoes. Experts say that puzzle toys, treat dispensing devices, and hidden snacks keep a dog's brain active. You can place small treats around safe parts of your home. Your dog stays busy sniffing them out, which can lower anxiety levels. Also, rotating toys keeps them fresh. If you put out the same plush toy every day, your dog might lose interest. By offering a different set of toys each day, you keep your dog curious. This curiosity can replace stress with excitement, but that's not the only factor. Mistake number 7 shows why a dog's environment matters more than you might think. Mistake number 7, not creating a cozy, safe space. Your dog may wander around freely, but they also need a safe spot to retreat. It could be a crate with a soft blanket or a comfy bed tucked in a corner. Dogs like a place that feels private. If your dog doesn't have a little zone of their own, they might feel exposed and restless when you leave. A safe space can lower anxiety. You can leave a piece of clothing that carries your scent inside their bed. This way, they sense your presence even when you're not there. Some dogs prefer a dim, quiet space, especially if random noises outside make them nervous. Consider using a crate if your dog is crate trained. Many dogs see crates as a comforting den. Others do well with a baby gate confining them to one room. Still, you need to watch out for loud, startling sounds. That leads us to mistake number 6, which can catch your dog off guard when you're not home. Mistake number 6, ignoring noise triggers. You might think a quiet house is comforting, but unexpected noises can shock your dog. Sudden thunder, a vacuum you left on a timer, or a loud TV program can spike their stress. Dogs have sensitive hearing. They pick up high-pitched sounds you can't. A random siren or door slam next door might set them off. If you have devices on timers, like washing machines or dishwashers, note that they can create loud banging or whirring. Your dog might panic, not knowing what's happening or where the noise comes from. Try to plan your chores when you're home, or set them for a time when your dog is in a more distant part of the house. Some people leave soft music playing at a low volume to mask outside noises. A calm playlist can soothe dogs and reduce the shock of sudden sounds. But you also need to be consistent in how you handle your dog's alone time. Next, mistake number 5 highlights a routine issue that can confuse your pet every single day. Mistake number 5, being unpredictable with your schedule. Do you leave at random times and come home at odd hours? Your dog might feel insecure, not knowing when you will return. Dogs thrive on patterns. If you feed them at 7 a.m., they expect it every morning. If you walk them before work each day, they look forward to that walk. But if your schedule keeps changing without any warning, your dog could feel uneasy. While life doesn't always follow a perfect plan, try to keep a general rhythm. For example, aim to leave around the same time and return close to the same time. Dogs have a built-in sense of time. Research shows that many dogs can distinguish between 1 hour and several hours of separation. They know how long you've been gone. If you constantly alter the timing, you might spark more anxiety. When your dog can guess when you'll come back, they relax sooner. They realize, this is normal. My person leaves now and comes back later. But this relaxation can vanish if you make a huge error with your pre-leaving routine. That's coming up next in mistake number 4. Mistake number 4, lack of a calm departure cue. You might rush around, grabbing your bag, slamming drawers, and pulling on your coat. You may do this in a hurry, thinking you'll be late. Your dog notices every movement. This chaos can signal that something big is happening. It raises the chance your dog will pace or whine the second you're gone. A simple way to help is to establish a short routine. For example, place your keys on the same hook, put on your shoes in the same spot, and say a brief phrase like, "See you soon." Then walk out in a calm manner. This sends a consistent signal that you leaving is normal and not a red alert. You also want to avoid giving dozens of extra treats or fussing with your dog for 5 minutes right before you leave. That can also heighten their state of mind. Keep it cool, keep it short, and then exit. If you skip these small steps, you might find your dog panics. Now, let's see why punishing your dog can make things worse. That's mistake number 3. Mistake number 3. Punishing your dog for stress-related behavior. You come home and find your couch shredded or a puddle on the floor. You feel frustrated, so you scold your dog. You might even raise your voice. That could create a cycle of fear. Your dog doesn't connect your anger to something they did hours ago. They only see your upset face right now. This can harm your bond and add more anxiety the next time you leave. Experts warn against punishment for separation-related issues. If your dog acts out while alone, it's often a cry for help. They might chew as a way to release tension. They might bark to call you back. Punishing them after the fact doesn't teach them a lesson. Instead, it teaches them that you coming home might lead to anger. That can increase anxiety rather than reduce it. Try to find the root cause. Could they be bored? Are they anxious because your departure routine is too chaotic? Maybe they need a dog walker or a safe chew toy. Address the reason, and you'll see more progress than if you rely on punishment. Next, you'll see a mistake about ignoring your dog's physical exercise needs. That can lead to major problems. Mistake number 2, not exercising your dog before you leave. You might jump out of bed, grab a quick breakfast, and head to work. Your dog sits at home with pent-up energy. With no outlet, they might bark at every noise or destroy items to burn off that energy. A study found that many dogs need at least 30 to 60 minutes of active play or walking daily. If they don't get it, they can act out in destructive ways. A brisk walk or a quick fetch session before you go can help your dog feel calmer. They'll be more likely to nap instead of pacing or whining. Physical exercise also helps reduce stress hormones in dogs. You don't have to run a marathon. Even a short 15-minute walk with a few sprint intervals can help. Then, top it off with a few minutes of mental stimulation, like a puzzle toy, right before you leave. Don't ignore this step. It might be the difference between coming home to a calm dog or one that's been barking for hours. Finally, let's go to mistake number 1, something many people do without realizing it can scar their dog emotionally. Mistake number 1, forcing your dog to cry it out. Some people say you should ignore a dog's howls and whimpers until they learn to be quiet. That approach can backfire. Your dog may escalate from whining to panicked pacing, self-harm, or even destructive digging. Dogs do not reason like humans. If they're truly afraid you won't return, ignoring them can make that fear deeper. Instead, you can use gradual desensitization. Start by leaving for short periods, just a minute or 2. Reward your dog for staying calm. Step by step, build up the time. If your dog starts whining, you can come back without making a fuss. That shows them you do return. Over time, their panic decreases. Patience is key. This might take days or weeks, but it's more humane than shutting the door on a terrified dog. There's also the option of hiring a trainer or behaviorist if the anxiety is severe. Many dogs benefit from expert guidance. Don't assume your dog just needs to get over it. Separation anxiety is real. Address it with understanding. You'll both be happier for it. Now that you've seen the 11 mistakes to avoid, let's close with a final summary and a few tips that can help you set your dog up for success. You've just learned 11 mistakes that can cause stress and trouble for your dog when you leave them alone. Each one can chip away at your dog's sense of security. By avoiding these pitfalls and replacing them with calming strategies, you protect your dog's emotional well-being and your home from unwanted damage. Consider a simple checklist for leaving your dog alone. Give them a calm goodbye, a safe spot, some toys or puzzles, and a short walk if possible. Keep your schedule as steady as you can. Use low-key returns and never punish your dog for anxiety-driven behaviors. If needed, look into professional help. Small changes can lead to big improvements in your dog's mood. They will greet you with a relaxed wag instead of frantic barking or damaged furniture. If you found this information helpful, tap the like button so more dog lovers can see these tips. Also, consider subscribing if you want to learn more ways to raise a happy, healthy dog.